Hi guys, so you will be back to my YouTube channel. I am Victoria Nanozi, in case you're new here, and in case you're returning, thank you very much. So today we are going Kampala sightseeing. Imagine, I've been going to the city every day, Kampala, capital city, and this one time I choose to go Kampala sightseeing. Yes, there's some places of Kampala that I don't know that I needed to go and see. I needed to go and tour. And how beautiful does it feel to tour your own capital city and the feel of being a tourist? Oh my god, that's all I felt while going for this trip. And I wasn't alone, I was with a group of other people that I joined along the way for this tour. Kampala sightseeing is carried out by a company called Promote Uganda. I'm going to attach their details here. And yes, do you know that there are 7 hills that make up Kampala? And there's history attached to all these 7 hills. Join us as we take this journey and you learn more about Kampala. So I joined them from Hotel Africana, where their buses usually stayed, but for this particular day the bus had already moved around Kololo Hill, which is one of the hills that make up Kampala. So from Kololo Hill we went to Nakasero Hill.
The government car was expected to park it here by 5, and that's why people know this area as the yard. Currently, it is where we find the body that is responsible for organizing the national and the local elections in Uganda. We now drive on Yusuf Rule Road, and this is named after Professor Yusuf Rule, the 4th president of Uganda, who was known as Professor Yusuf Rule. He was a president for 68 days. Then to the right-hand side, we see the statue. On the right-hand side within the park, you're able to see the statue. Have you seen it? Anyone with a 20,000 Uganda shillings note? When you look at that paper note, we are able to find that statue, and that statue is known as the Centenary Monument. And the Centenary Monument was put in place in a celebration of Kampala at 100 years. That was in 1994. It was designed by a Makerere student who was known as Sylvia Katende. So that is the Centenary Monument, mainly put in place Kampala at 100, or centenary years of Kampala City. Then to the right hand side is Garden City Mall. It's one of the malls we have in town. We have a new supermarket, which is Carrefour. So Carrefour is a French supermarket. It's new. Then to the right hand side is Garden City Mall. It has the banks that close late in the night. Then we now drive on Nile Avenue. And Nile Avenue is named after the longest river in the world, which is River Nile. And remember, River Nile is one of the unique rivers in the world, whereby it is flowing northwards. And it takes 90 days for the water to flow from Jinja to Egypt. Then to the left-hand side is a new mall, which is known as Kingdom Kampala. Kingdom Kampala is built recently, though initially it was a school, which was called Shimoni. The plan was to construct a hotel. From a hotel, it's currently a multi-use. I call it a multi-use building. It's a mall, conference, shops, supermarkets, and all that. Then to the right-hand side is Crested Towers. Crested Towers is named after the bird you see on the Uganda flag, the crested crane. And this building houses the delegation of the European Union, together with Stanbic Bank, which was started in 1906 as the National Bank of India. Then to the left-hand side, this is the first radio station in Uganda, which is known as Radio Uganda, or UBC Radio, since 1953. And then this is the first television station in Uganda, which is called UBC Television, initially known as UTV, which used to air from 6 to midnight. You had no choice but rather to watch everything. So to the right where we see the parking, that is Kampala Serena, initially known as Nile Hotel, which is currently one of the leading 5-star hotels in Uganda, remembered for hosting the Queen of England for 4 days in 2007. And now this road is known as Siadi Bale Avenue, which is named after the Somalian president Muhammad Siad Bali. Then to the left hand side, the Uganda National Theatre. So it's a home of our music, dance, and drama. We always have like different plays being acted here, and the theatre is active, so it is working from Monday to Monday. But in case you get to find that the people who are acting are using the local language that you don't understand, please don't accept the defeat. Don't be left out. In case you get to see one of us laugh, please join us and laugh, even if you don't understand what is really taking place. To the right is the Parliament of Uganda. So the Uganda Parliament is the one we see on the right hand side. Built in 1956, officially opened in 1958, and the Parliament building is the one we see here. And this Parliament was initially known as the Legislative Council, so currently it is the Parliament. We see the two tall buildings with the same architecture, the Prime Minister's office and the President's office. Then you see the building with the tall tower with the clock. That is the managing body of Kampala, which is the Kampala Capital City Authority. Then we see something in writing that explains when Uganda got independence, October 9th, 1962. So our post-independent parliament was only having 92 representatives, currently 426. So the parliament is too small, it is currently under expansion. So our offices of this bus are on the brown building, where you see the white kind of like banner, the other side. And that is Raja Chambers, and that's where our offices are. Then here on the left, we have Kenya Airways. Then we as well have KLM on the third floor. And now this road is known as Kimathi Avenue. Do you know Kimathi? Exactly. So this is named after the Dan Kimathi. So Kimathi Avenue here in Kampala is more of a travel street. We have a lot of travel companies that we mainly find on this street. Then to the right, we have already seen the managing board of Kampala, which we call KCCA, the Kampala Capital City Authority. I've seen quite many people from Kenya telling me that, wow, Twaha, Kampala looks clean. These are the people that have tried to make sure that Kampala looks clean. I'm proud of my city. So one of the unique features of Kampala is a lot of green. And I think, are you liking the green? We can follow you the idea on how we do it. So to the right, we see the glass building. That is the audit house. But the first building you see here, that is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And then here on the left-hand side, it's a church which is known as Christ the King. So this is Christ the King. This church is established in 1930. Then here on the left we have Theatre La Bonita, which houses one of the movie legendary actors in Uganda, the Ebonies. And La Bonita is a Spanish word meaning pretty or the beautiful. So this is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on the right. And then the next building in the middle is the audit house. So if you continue behind the audit house, is where we find the Ministry of Finance. But here we're able to see the statistics building, which houses the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, the body responsible for the national statistics. Back to Nile Avenue. Remember, named after the longest river in the world, which is very unique, flowing northwards till the Mediterranean. The hotel in Uganda, which is known as Sheraton. Sheraton is a 5-star. It's also currently part of the Marriott Hotels. And Sheraton is remembered to have been established in 1967, originally known as Apollo Hotel. And it is remembered for hosting Bill Clinton in 1998. So, it has the Sheraton Gardens, which are public gardens. I always tell my friends I'm chilling at Sheraton, and they're like, you made money. Then I tell them in the Sheraton. So the first hotel in Kampala is here on the left. And this is Speak Hotel. Speak Hotel, named also after John Hanning Speak. Speak Hotel established in the year 1925. So it is the second oldest hotel in Uganda, but Speak Hotel is the oldest in Kampala. The oldest hotel in Uganda is called Masindi Hotel. which was established in 1923. On the roundabout here, we're able to see the statue. And this is the first president of Uganda, Sir Edward Frederick George William David Walugembe Luwangula Muteri Mutesa II. Sir Edward Mutesa II, he was the first president of Uganda, 1963-1966. Then across, we're able to see the Independence Monument. That monument explains how Uganda was under colonization, wrapped up with the bandages of colonization, not until 9th October 1962, when a free-born country was free from colonization. And that statue explains us in the real life, when we are still young, when we are still staying in our mother's houses or our father's houses. Can you do anything without telling them? That is colonization. But right now, do you ask for permission to do anything? Independence. So you also like that statue? Originally, when you're young, you're wrapped up with the bandages of your fathers, not until when you become independent and you now become free from colonization. So we find that statue on all paper notes of Uganda. 1,000, 2, 5, 10, 20, and 80. So this part of town is called Nakasero. What is so unique about Nakasero? It is really organized. Have we found any traffic? Okay. We are going to the organized chaos. Any traffic. The upper part, we are just having a dose of it, although it won't be too much. And then to the right, we can see the temple. This is the SDM temple, or the Hindu temple. And that is the first temple in Uganda since 1954. So since 1954, that's when that temple was put in place. And it is the SDM temple, or you can call it the Hindu temple. Thank you for now. I'm going for a break. If you have a question, I'm still here. Yes?
So where did the name Kampala came from?
Please explain about how the name Kampala came from. Let me use this time still. Let me just do this once, and then we go. This is a country which is called Uganda. Initially made up of 4 kingdoms: Buganda, Toro, Ankole, and Bunyoro. Where we are now is Buganda Kingdom, the kingdom that has been in existence for over 600 years. It has only had 36 kings. There is always father, son, son, son. Never the first son, the second, the third, or any other son. The first son can never be king because he has a lot of responsibilities, like mainly taking care of the royal family. 1880 was the time when we had a king of Buganda known as Kabaka Mutesa I. Kabaka Mutesa I came up with the idea of naming the area Kampala, who selected a hunting area that included of different rolling hills. When you look at the nature of Kampala, and we came all the way from Kororo, we came down, we climbed up, we are now down. He selected numerous rolling hills, and these different rolling hills were a habitat of different wildlife animals. Particularly on one hill, we have the antelopes, known as the impalas. Not the Chevrolet, no. The antelope, the impala. And therefore, the people would refer to that hill as Akasozi Kampala, the hill of Impala. Kampala is Kasozi Kampala, the hill of Impalas. We were a colony of the British, and when the British came, they camped on the hill of Impalas. Camp Impala, Camp Impala, Kampala. But in Luganda, letter C is pronounced as Cha. Letter K is pronounced as Ka. When you put left, and on the left-hand side, this is the area which most Ugandans call the city square. It is no longer city square. It is the constitutional square. It is currently a symbol of national unity. Originally it was city square, not until when Uganda amended its constitution in 1995, that the place was renamed from city square to constitutional square. This is our water. Then to the right hand side you see the black and white monument. Anyone with a 5,000 Uganda shillings note, when you check on your 5,000 Uganda shillings note, you're able to see that statue. And that is known as the World War Monument. The World War Monument was put in place in memory of the Ugandans who fought and died during the two world wars fighting on behalf of the British. So it is the oldest monument in Kampala. And behind, we see one of the colonial buildings, and that is the High Court of Uganda. And the High Court of Uganda is built in 1930. So the World War Monument is on that paper note that he is trying to show you. So now, welcome to the chaos. Welcome to the chaos. You may not need to have a driving license. Why? But you need this. You know it's not common, but they say it's common. So, you need a lot of common sense here because we don't stop for you. We don't know who should go first and who should first wait. We all want to go. And I'm sure before we do anything, you can see it here. You take a look at the border borders, take a look at the taxi drivers, take a look at the people just doing the soft drive. This is why we call it the, you see, everybody wants to go. So if I said it's the organized chaos, am I wrong? Don't ask me how many border borders we have, I don't know. So to the right here, they're able to see the bank, which is called Centenary Bank. It is located in one of the magnificent buildings we have in Kampala, which is known as Mapera. Mapera is a guava in our local language. But the building is named after the word Montpel. My father is a French word. So the people who introduced the Roman Catholic religion here were French. One would refer to the other as the father. But the people had as if he was saying that in Mapera. So they nicknamed the gentleman Mapera. And Mapera means a guava. To the right, we're able to see this building here. It is called Crane Chambers. Crane Chambers was initially known as Drapers. It was the first departmental store in Uganda. And behind it was the first supermarket known as Cash Co. All these were rooted in 1979. Then we have Church House on the right, which is owned by the Anglican Church of Uganda. And then we see the real chaos now. If we move down like at this time, it will take us at least 2 hours to go out. And then to the left, this is the Bank of Uganda complex or the Central Bank. So the Bank of Uganda complex is built in 1966. This is the old complex, and then behind is the new complex. Where are we? We are still in Nakasero. So starting from here, going all the way to the left, is the organized part. Starting from here, going all the way down, the confusion. And then where we are, this is now 0 kilometers. If you're counting distance from Kampala, you're from which country? To Kenya, you're now at 0. Start counting. So this is 0 kilometers, and that is the post office Uganda. Now, we have a statue of leadership here. That statue of leadership belongs to one chief of Buganda Kingdom who was known as Sir Apollo Kagwa. Sir Apollo Kagwa was one of the chiefs of Buganda Kingdom, together with the king, Kabaka Mutesa the first. Not the second, the one we've seen, the first. They had a dream of culture, development, education, and religion. These are one of the people that make sure that we receive a lot of development. Because as we talk about civilization in Uganda, civilization began during the time of Kabaka Mutesa the first. The introduction of cameras, religion, all that began during the time of Kabaka Mutesa the first. So the statue is put in place in front of the Ministry of Energy. In Kevin Road is where we are. So this is the road to the only international airport we have in Uganda. And to the right is APSA, which is now taking over Barclays Bank. And this was the head office of Barclays, which was established in 1927. Barclays Bank started in Uganda in 1927, and it only had 2 branches. This one and another one in Entebbe. Sorry, and another one in Jinja, not Entebbe. So this was one, then the other one was in Jinja. So now, 7 hills. This is one of the 7. And this is known as Nakasero. Nakasero comes from the word Akasero, the basket. Why the basket? I'm going to explain it. Let me first show you the first market in Uganda, where we see the umbrellas and where we see kind of like very many people. So that is the Nakasero market, which was the first market in Uganda. It was started by the British. It was in 1895. That was at the King's Palace. But because it was within the King's Palace, so it could not easily be accessed. Not until it was moved to Makerere Hill in the area which is called Kabugube. And then in 1914, it was brought here. So Nakasero market is the Uganda's oldest market since 1895. Talking about Nakasero as a hill, it is where we find our downtown and a lot of businesses, plus the government administration. Then to the left, it is Nasa Road. Now, Nasa Road here on the left, if you want to have a Ugandan national ID, but you don't have it. You want to have the documents of Makerere University, but you didn't study from Makerere University. Or else, you have never been to any university. You've lost your passport, but you want something that is similar. Your passport. You're not very far from the dream. Nasa Road is right here to get your problems sorted. But please, when you get called, don't say Twaha recommended me. I didn't say that, but I've just said if you want something similar to that. In 85 was the time when we had a king of Buganda known as Kabaka Mwanga II, who had two palaces. And one palace is the one you're going to see today, and another palace is the one on Lake Victoria. So the king wanted to collect these two palaces using a lake or using a canal, but we never had machines, and people had to dig the lake using hands and using the baskets to remove the mud from the lake. After digging, these people would carry their baskets and come and temporarily sleep over on this hill. Those who were not knowing where these were heading to with their baskets, they would say that Baragawa, and they would say that Bagenda Kasozeri, Na Kasero. They are going to the other hill with the basket. The hill is Na Kasero with the basket. Then our Kampala fire station is right there. And then in front here, you are going to see the Queen's Clock Tower, though it is not working. Don't say what is the clock. It is the Queen's Clock Tower, it used to work. But currently it is no longer the Queen's Clock Tower because the clock is not there. But we still call it the Queen's Clock. Put in place in honor of the Queen of England visiting Uganda to officially open the dam that generated our first hydro electricity power. And this is put in place in 1954. The bus is moved. This place is called Katwe, where we are. And Katwe became very famous currently because of the movie that has been acted about the life of a young girl who once lived in this area with a family, who was known as Fiona. So she couldn't take everything she wanted to until when she met one of the missionaries who taught her how to play chess, Robert Katende. And this young girl was able to transform her life from this poor means to a better person. And the movie is acted by a Kenyan movie actress who is known as Rupita. So I don't know if you heard about the Queen of Katwe movie, but this is the area where the inspiration of acting that movie came from. Katwe is the area.
From Nakasero Hill, we headed to Mengo Hill, where we made a stop at the Buganda Kingdom or at the Bulange Emengo. Here we learnt a lot about Buganda Kingdom, which happens to be one of the biggest kingdoms in the world and in Uganda. We learnt a lot of history about the kingdom, the past and the present. But what surprised us most was the torture chamber that the late President Idi Amin used to use. He would get to ever oppose his regime and take him to those torture chambers and would kill them from there. This brought everyone to tears. It was really sad just remembering how people lost their lives because of opposing a certain president.
A canal to connect these two palaces. That is the Mengo Palace and the Munyonyo Palace on Lake Victoria, in that it could be easy for him to travel by boat from one palace to the other. And the people from the different clans of Buganda Kingdom are the ones that had to play a role in the digging of this lake. The digging was 1885 to 1886. Unfortunately, it was not connected as planned because of the religious wars that happened, and also our king was arrested by the British, taken to exile on the Seychelles Island. A beautiful place to be exiled in. He was exiled in Seychelles, but he did not come back because he disappeared in exile. You understand when I say disappear? What do you understand? No. You don't understand it as well? So whenever the king, yes. So when we're talking about the kings, we don't say the king has died. No, that's a shame. How can a king die? So it is only disappearing. Whenever the king dies, we say the king has disappeared. Why? The first king changed to disappear into the forest. Ever since then up to now, we say the king has. Let's go. That is only the king of Buganda. But the remaining kings, they died.
You've called this a what?
The fireplace, it is always burning from the day the king is coronated on the throne to the day the king disappears. Then later on we'll be driving here on this royal mile to the parliament.
So
Then out of the parliament, then we'll go to the cathedral.
the Royal Mile. This is my first time coming to Ruviri. So we are entering the Ruviri. You know? It's my first time coming, like entering, not coming here, but entering actually, going to the Ruviri. This one is worth it. It's worth it. Welcome to Idi Amin's torture. Welcome to the Idi Amin's. Did I hear someone touch this? That was built in 1970. God. These days we build things and they fall in a minute. And this was constructed in 19 70. It's good that I've taken this trip because I wouldn't know all these. Check. Lord God, have mercy. Think that, where is this great? This. So many people have lost their dear lives here. Would come and torture people from here. I don't know even how people are claiming this, but
so this is one of the torture chambers around here in Uganda where Idi Amin used to torture people and killing them. So when Idi Amin became a president of Uganda, that was 1971, so he had a friend from Israel and they constructed here this place with Israelis. So initially this place was for keeping and using weapon, not for torturing people. So it was a bank for the guns. But later 1972, 73,
from Mengo Hill, we headed to Rubaga Hill, which is also one of the hills that make up Kampala and where the Roman Catholic Church is found. That is to say, the headquarters of the Roman Catholic Church in Uganda.
Not to Rubaga. So Rubaga Hill is the headquarters for the Roman Catholic Church of Uganda. Yeah. So this hill is where we find Rubaga Cathedral. Rubaga Cathedral is founded in 1914. It was opened in 1925. This is the cathedral, which is a replica of Notre Dame in Paris. This is the cathedral that is the only one that has Anne Pope Francis. This is the cathedral which is located at the former King's Palace. This was the palace of Kabaka Mutesa I, and it was the official residence for Kabaka Mutesa I. 1882, he left this place. He went to the area which is called Kasubi. He renovated the palace of his father who was Kabaka Sona II. He stayed there for 2 years and he disappeared. And that marked the beginning of the Kasubi Royal Burial Grounds. But initially, Kabaka Mutesa I, this was his official palace, which he later on abandoned and he went to Kasubi. Then his son, Kabaka Mwanga II, donated this palace in 1890 to the Roman Catholics. It's a replica of Notre Dame. So if you've not been to Notre Dame, save your money, you're ready at Notre Dame. And this is the area where the King of Buganda was taught how to read and write English, and he was able to write a letter which he sent to England, to the Queen, which was published on the Daily Telegraph on the 15th of November 1875, though the letter was written on the 14th of April 1875, inviting the missionaries to come and spread religion in Uganda. The hill is Lubaga. It comes from the word Okubaga, which means planning, constructing, or putting together. This area is at the same time.
From Rubaga Hill, we headed to Namirembe Hill, where the headquarters of the Protestant Church in Uganda are found, and they are found at Namirembe Cathedral.
And Central Africa. So the oldest cathedral in Eastern Central Africa is the one we see on the right, which is known as St. Paul's Cathedral. And St. Paul's Cathedral is Anglican, founded in 1890. The structures are built in 1915, opened in 1919. And then to the left-hand side, this is the first school in Uganda. And the first school in Uganda is Mengo Primary School, founded in 1897. The first cathedral on the right, the first school on the left, and the first hospital still here. Then the other one, St. Mary's, is the biggest cathedral.
So in this video, I've only shown the 4 hills that make up Kampala, and I'll be showing you the rest of the 3 in the next episode. Remember to subscribe, give a thumbs up, share, and hit the notification bell. See you in the next